Can a dream truly show us the future? And if it can, does that give us a chance to change it? It's a hard concept to accept. If we can foresee what's to come in a dream, then the future must already be written. If that's true, we aren't really free to choose our own paths, are we? We're not truly in control of our own lives. Before I share the dream, I need to set the scene. It was the summer of 4 years ago. I was driving my family back from a long road trip through the vast, open landscapes of the American Southwest. My son, Mark, was still learning to drive. My daughter, Chloe, was too young, and my wife, Sarah, never drives on highways. So I had been behind the wheel for the better part of 3 weeks. Maybe I was exhausted. Maybe all I could think about were cars and endless stretches of asphalt. The night of the dream, we were staying in a small motel in a town called Oakhaven. Now, here's the dream. I was in the driver's seat of a big, powerful, cream-colored sedan speeding through the countryside. As I approached a sharp bend, a massive semi-truck appeared right in front of me. My foot instinctively went for the brake pedal, but it wasn't there. I glanced down in a panic. There was no brake. Worse, my hands were clutching at nothing but air. The steering wheel was gone. There were no controls at all. We were seconds away from slamming into the back of the truck. I screamed in pure terror. Suddenly, a calm voice spoke from my left. I turned my head and saw a stranger sitting beside me. He was a cheerful-looking man in his 40s, wearing an expensive-looking shirt and a bright red baseball cap. He was saying something, speaking quickly, but I couldn't make out the words. To be honest, I didn't care what he was saying. My eyes were fixed on his clean, steady hands gripping the steering wheel. This car had its controls on his side. He, not I, was in control. He expertly navigated the bend, then smoothly pulled the car into the opposite lane to overtake the semi-truck. The road ahead was a straight, sun-drenched ribbon of blacktop, completely empty. Well, almost empty. Up ahead, outside a small, whitewashed house, a woman was sitting at a table arranging flowers in pots ready to sell to passers-by. For some reason, the sight of her filled me with a dreadful sense of fear. The flowers made me think of a funeral, of a final resting place. Just as we were level with the truck, it started to swerve, pulling directly into our path. It felt intentional. The stranger next to me yelled and yanked the wheel, trying to avoid a collision. There was a horrific screech of metal from the back of the car, followed by an explosion. The world seemed to flip upside down, and the roar of flames filled my ears. At that moment, I woke up, drenched in sweat. The dream disturbed me so much that I couldn't fall back asleep. It felt like a message, one I desperately needed to understand. But even if dreams could predict the future, this one made no sense. Was I supposed to never overtake a truck on a clear road again? The highways to California are always packed with semi-trucks. I couldn't drive behind them forever. No, that wasn't it. The core of the dream was fear. I figured if I could identify the source of that fear, I could dismiss the dream and move on. I thought back over my driving during the past 3 weeks, trying to recall every truck, every small white house, every cream-colored car. Nothing stood out. I had assumed the road in the dream was American because it was long and straight. But then I remembered we were overtaking on the left. In America, you always pass on the left. Then a memory surfaced. 2 years earlier, I was working on a project in the Pacific Northwest with a colleague from the UK. He had shipped his British car over, and of course, the driver's seat and controls were on the right side. The car wasn't cream-colored, but my colleague was a reckless driver who often ignored my warnings. I was in a better position to see oncoming traffic from the passenger seat. Once, just after I'd warned him, he decided to play chicken. You know the game. You swerve into the center of the road and drive straight at an oncoming car. The first driver to swerve away is the chicken. Too often, neither driver swerves. I made my displeasure about this game crystal clear in a way he couldn't possibly misunderstand. We never did it again, but the memory must have been buried deep in my mind, only to resurface in a dream. I also remembered that on that same day, we stopped in a small town and he bought a hat. It was a black hat, not red, but in dreams, details can get mixed up. After making these connections, I felt better and forgot about the dream. Until that afternoon. We were following a massive, noisy big rig. When I honked, the driver moved over to let me pass, but he moved to the wrong lane, the left lane. There was plenty of space for me to pass him on the right, but that would be illegal and dangerous. I slowed down, telling myself not to risk it. I weighed my options. My car was far more agile than his massive truck. Could I quickly shoot past him on the right before he could react? But if he swerved right, he would crush us instantly. He was probably just having some fun, but what if he wanted an accident? If he caused a crash that way, the law would be on his side. The road ahead was clear for miles. I dropped back, creating a gap between us, and then I floored it. I aimed for the empty space to his right, my car hitting 70 miles per hour. The front of my car was just about level with the back of his trailer when I saw it. There, on the shoulder of the road, a woman sat at a table of flowers outside a small whitewashed house. For the first time in my life, I changed my mind in the middle of an overtake. The dream hit me like a physical blow. My foot slammed down on the brake. The car swerved violently. From behind, a horn blared. Another car was following close behind, moving fast. Before I even saw it, I knew its color. It was cream. I jammed the brakes and wrenched the wheel, just managing to pull in behind the truck without hitting it. The cream-colored car flew past us, its driver honking furiously. As he reached the truck swerved towards him. For a split second, I thought the car would make it. It was moving incredibly fast. Then, the front corner of the truck clipped the rear of the car. It was just a light touch, but it was enough to send the car spinning towards the side of the road, right where the woman and her table of flowers were. The driver of that car was a pro. With incredible skill, he corrected the spin, bringing the car back under control. His reaction was amazing, far better than mine would have been. He shot an angry gesture at the truck driver and sped off, disappearing in a cloud of dust. That night, we stayed at a roadside motel. Parked outside was a cream-colored sedan with fresh scrapes on its rear bumper. I found the driver in the diner. He wasn't wearing a red hat or an expensive shirt. He was a young guy from Los Angeles named Alex, not the man from my dream. He spoke perfect English, so I offered him the truck's license plate number, which I had noted down. He just laughed. "The law doesn't help you when you pass on the wrong side," he said. To him, it was all a game. "It tests your skill," he explained. "If you have a powerful enough car, you can do it. You couldn't, not in that family car of yours." I didn't tell him about my dream, about my real reason for not passing that truck. There was no point. He was in a hurry to get to LA. But it made me think. I don't consider myself a believer in paranormal things, of course, but something, whatever it was, saved us all from a terrible end that day.